Welcome to the overview of the Amazon FBA Order and Inventory Management System. So I'll just be running through the system for you and just go through some of the key features. When you first view the system, you will see the overview dashboard. This is, because it's all based on Airtable, everything is fully configurable here. So at the moment, I just have a few placeholder fields and dashboard entries. So this can, as I mentioned, can be fully configurable in how you desire. Now I'll go through the different areas of the system. Here is the products catalog. So you can see this is where you can enter all your SKUs. You have a short name, images, the marketplace ASIN FN SKU, if there's an internal model number or manufacturer SKU, as well as adding product components, barcodes, digital asset files. There's also packaging you may want to add. It can be reusable most of the time, so you can enter it in the packaging dimensions here on the left, which I'll go through shortly. And here's a quick summary of all the high-level details of the unit locations and where it's currently at. In the product summary, you can have a bit more detailed information on each product, so it's a bit more specific to each individual product, where you can see it at a glance, everything in one spot, and it's a little bit larger. So it's just a different view of the previous product catalog, which is a bit of an overview. So here you have all the details here. You have the units in the different locations, components, packaging, assets, and artwork files, and also a bit of a summary of also where the orders related to this particular product are, and the shipments related to it as well. Next item is in the ASIN. So with ASIN, this is where you can enter the different ASINs, which could be used against multiple different products. So just say for this particular ASIN, it's used in the USA and the UK, then we can link it together, and it's just an easier way to track because Airtable is a database. You can link these items, and then you can reuse the properties, say, in other areas. Next is the marketplaces. So here we can list the different marketplaces that we sell on. Digital assets, things like labels, not necessarily barcodes, because you can attach those directly to the product catalog, but labels such as reusable items, things like warning labels, PVC warning labels, or maybe some gift box that could be specific to items, you can add here as well, and that are reusable typically. Packaging dimensions I mentioned before. Here's where you can have enter your different packages, whether it's a carton or the package, the shipping package, and then you enter the details here that will typically you'd use if you have similar products in a family. You probably use the same package sizes, same cartons as well. Then you can reuse it here, and then you can link that up, and there's the details you can be providing to your supplier as well. In the order section, so we have the order summary. So here we have a list of the different statuses. Again, because it is an Airtable, you can fully configure all these statuses, as well as all the fields and all the whole layout is pretty much configurable as well. So if we just go down to this one, so this one's the draft, I'll go down to a completed one, so you can see a bit more information. So you can have the description, your supplier details, the estimated dates, the status, any notes you may wish to add. And here you can have the linked product line items. So essentially the different SKUs that will be going on the order, and the costs and the quantity for each of those as well. And in the order section, we also have an overview of the orders, which is essentially a slightly different view that we had in the summary. So the summary has specific items for an order. This one has all the different orders in essentially like a bit more of a grid view, so you can see them at a glance, and a bit easier in all the details. And then if you expand on this, how I had it before, you can see all the different products related to that specific order as well. Next, in the shipments area, we have a list of all the different shipments that are going to the different destinations. So here we have different statuses again that are configurable: booked, in transit, delivered. And here I'll select one that's been delivered, so we can pick the type of shipment it is. If it's just a standard freight or FBA, include the shipment name or shipment ID, set the delivery status to set shipment status, when it was shipped, date received, where it's from, where it's going to, the ship to country. We have the category, where it's shipped from, shipped to, and all these other details here. Then you have the line items that you would be shipping. So basically the products that will be going to the different destinations, and they're all listed down here. Again, also with the costs, if you include the costs here, they'll all be tallied up and calculated as a per unit cost, which will go back into the original COGS of the order. So with this one, there is also, in shipments, there is also an overview similar to the orders overview. This one's currently expanded, but if you collapse it, you can see just the list of all your different shipments and a bit of a snapshot. You can see of the different statuses and the details there. And again, if you expand this, you can see the different associated products, their units and their costs. Now we have the inventory tab. So in the inventory, there is a list of all the products in the product catalog. A bit of a summary there again, AC and FN SKU, the market, and also the different locations, the units in the different locations and of the different stages. There's also a column for the FBA available quantity. That's if we have syncing enabled with your Amazon Seller Central account, and I can show that in one of these menu items below. So with the SKU by location, this is where we can see where everything is. By default, Airtable expands this also. We kind of have to do a collapse so we can see how many units are in all the different locations. And once we expand this down one level, we can see the individual SKUs. So at the Eastgate Logistics, which is our in China logistics, there's this SKU. Then at the Supplier, there's this SKU. Again, Supplier, this SKU. This is the USA Logistics Company. So there's so many here, and same with FBA, what has been sent in. So here we can get a good snapshot of the different suppliers, the locations, and this by SKUs. The next report is the FBA Managed Inventory Health. So this is actually synced with the FBA Managed Inventory Health report in Seller Central, and this would be updated daily once this automation is enabled. And we can add more fields here. Currently, we just have a subset of the fields that are getting imported. So like the available quantity, which goes back into the summary field, and then the age, and then the sell-through days of supply and recommended reorder date. So you can see with here, once we expand upon that, you can do your inventory planning using this data. In the suppliers and contacts area, we have a list of our suppliers and include their category, their email address, phone number, contact numbers, and the website details. We also have a list of the marketplaces that is applicable to different suppliers, mainly with the 3PL and the FBA. And this is where if you make a change in this, in one of these areas, like in any other one of these tables in Airtable, it will be propagated across throughout the whole application. The different ones, we have also filtered views of just a subset of the different suppliers, the warehouses, and then 3PL warehouses, and then the FBA warehouses. We have another section here called Initial Setup, and this is where you enter your own company details, and that would be used in some of the automations that get sent out to the suppliers. And your initial product import, so you can just do a copy and paste from one of the reports, Amazon reports, so you can quickly populate all your data in here. And same thing with the contacts import. If you have a list of your suppliers, you can update it here. If it's in a spreadsheet format, then you can quickly get up and running with the system. So to create an order, we go to the order section and we hit the plus button, and we'll bring up a new order form. So we'll just say we want to send some resistance bands to Canada. My supplier, I'll add my supplier. So I've got a list of just filtered supplier list. So these are my suppliers, Great Wall Sports. So the order date is today. The deposit terms, FOB, yep, great. Actually, I'll change the date to be the past so it doesn't look so odd. So I'll put it as, say, 2 weeks behind. Create. Okay, so now that got added here. So we have the details showing here, and I want to add a product to this list. So I'm going to add the SKU, which is the red Canada one, yep. And then I want to add the quantity. So the quantity is, say, 300. I don't know the price exactly, so I'll leave it empty for now. And what I'll do is I will generate the quote that gets sent out to my supplier, the Great Wall Sports. So I'll email the RFQ, so I'll ask them for a quote. So once the order status changes to RFQ sent, it will see down below there's this quote attached here. And in the quote, you have these details. Again, we can configure this because it is in Airtable. So you have the order number, the order details, our company name, company email address, order date, supplier details, purchase terms, payment terms, and then the products, and then the product specs. So the components and the packaging. So we don't have a cost here, so we've asked our supplier to provide us with a cost. So then we can go to the email. Just imagine this is be sent to the supplier. I'm just sending it to myself, but this is what the supplier would receive. So email from Greg, request a quote. Hi Peter, can you please provide a quote for the attached RFQ? So here is the same quote that we saw previewed back in our portal, and that's our supplier will respond to that and provide us some details with the quote. So just say they come back with a quote of, say, $4.50. We'll just enter it in here. We have the total production costs as well. So everything's looking okay. I'm happy with that. Then I'll go down to email the purchase order just to confirm that. So now the status has been changed to purchase order sent. So we're looking at our quote details. Again, there's an attachment of the purchase order here. Here with actually further details. So it has essentially the same as what we had before. The products, the SKU now has got the price in there, but it also has a new section called files. So they're kind of for the barcode and any digital assets that you'd send to them as part of the production. So when we go into the email, our supplier would receive this email. Purchase order is here. And then all the attachments like the barcode and any other like the suffocation warnings, and other warnings, and maybe some artwork for packaging, they would be all attached as part of the email to the supplier. So now imagine we've paid the deposit, so we can change the status to deposit paid, and a bit of time has elapsed. Estimated completion, we can just say change to last Tuesday. Then at the moment it would make that as highlighted as red, being overdue, because that's in the past. But now once we change that to say, okay, all done, it's completed, then the status will move into completed. So down here. And then we can start the process of moving the goods out from the supplier to the freight forwarder, then to our different locations. So once the order has been completed, we have our product here. We're going to move it to our freight forwarder, so we can pick our freight forwarder from here. So this is our freight forwarder, Eastgate Logistics, and I'm going to change the item status to say we've sent it to freight forwarder. You can also say it's stored at supplier if that's where it's going to maintain for a while. But otherwise, we're going to send it to the freight forwarder. So you can see here on the right, the units in production with the supplier at 300. But once I change it to send to freight forwarder, then the units at the freight forwarder will be 300. So the next step is once it's at the freight forwarder, we would then move it on from the freight forwarder to our end destinations. So to do that, we need to go to the shipment section. So in the shipment section, similar to placing an order, I would create a new shipment, enter the type of shipment. Because I'm sending this, I want to send this to my 3PL in Canada, I just hit freight. I can enter a name, but it's optional. So bands to Canada. Then we pick the ship from location. So I'm going to be shipping from our logistics, Eastgate Logistics. And now I want to ship to our Maple Leaf 3PL, which is our Canadian one. Shipment type, I'll just say by sea. And the date shipped, we don't have confirmation yet, so I'll wait for that. And I'll just create that. So here we have the the shipment details above, and then here we need to add the shipment line items. So again, this is where you add the products in. So the products that I want to be sending through are the Canadian items. So I want to ship all 300 of these out. So I'll enter 300. Here we can also issue the PDF quotes for your freight forwarder if required. Currently it's not configured that way, but definitely we can use a very similar process to the orders to get quotes from your freight forwarders if required. But at the moment, let's assume that we're just using email communication, as it's probably a bit simpler. Then we would say you have different statuses. You can have your quote, booked, in transit. So we'll just say we'll put it as booked for now, and then once we change it to, and then we'll get a costing. So we can say maybe $600 for the freight. So it's $2 per unit. Now we'll say, okay, it's in transit. We can enter the date shipped. So the date shipped would be 17th. I can add some tracking numbers. And then we can, once it arrives, so this is, we'll just leave it as is. Once it arrives, we can then change the status to delivered. You can enter a date received in here as well. So we can enter maybe the 20th. And now the status, you can see, has changed, and that item has moved down to there. So now, if we want to have a look at our inventory overview, so we can see this is our product, the Canada product. So this is from a previous order, there's 400 there, but the total at the 3PL is now 300. And if we want to have the SKU by location, we know we got at the Maple Leaf, so we have 300 units of this red resistance band at the 3PL. So now I want to create a shipment to FBA. So I'll create a new shipment, and I'll call this an FBA shipment. Shipment name, I'll just say FBA 1234. And I'll ship from Maple Leaf 3PL, and our location is the Canada FBA. Shipment type is ground small parcel. I'll leave that as for now. Okay, so now we've created this, and just say once we've created all the FBA shipment details, you can add the shipment ID, the tracking number as required. Then you can change the shipment status and to say if it's booked. If you have the costing, once you add that in, so it's 50, to say $50. Actually, before we do that, we need to add the line item. So here, So we had 300 pieces all up. I only want to send through 100. Okay. So now we've got a unit cost of 50 cents. So now we can change this status, add a date shipped, change the status to, in transit. And then once it's received, we can enter the date received and the delivered. So all this information is captured in this system, and you can easily track, date ship received. With the costs, you can see how all the costs are calculated. So this one's 50 cents for 100 units. This one's $2. If we go back to the order here, then we can see how the shipping cost has been affected, has affected the COGS. So initially the unit cost was $4.50, but this is a total of all the shipping costs added up, which gives us a new COGS for that particular order item. So it's much easier to trace the costs back this way, and also the location of the inventory. So we can see now with the Canada, we've sent 100 through, SKU by location, and I can see with Canada FBA that it's now the 100 units are there, but we still have 200 units at our 3PL. Hopefully this is a good overview of how the system works. And again, it is quite configurable because it is using Airtable on the back end that we can see here. And these are all the different tables in Airtable. And with the order IDs, if you wish to change the format of that, something that's a bit more usable from your or how you wish to use it within your company, then you can configure that quite easily as well. If you have any questions about this system and how we can help implement it for you, please contact us at pressoflow.com.